Welcome to another off-ice interview presented by Grove City Hockey. And I'm here with the man that made all of this possible, the commissioner from Canfield, Karl Richardson. Karl, thank you for joining the program and welcome aboard.
Thanks for interviewing me.
So let's just get right into it. Obviously, our business is broadcasting hockey, and MIHA is one of our favorite things to broadcast. But you didn't start it. You kind of took it over, but you started playing it. Your mentor, Mike, who ran the league before you, what was it like playing with him at the helm of the ship?
Well, if I hadn't had the opportunity to start out with Mike, there's no way I'd be doing the things that I'm doing today. When I started out in my early career, I knew I wanted to do something with roller hockey, but I didn't quite know how to get involved. And Mike and I were kind of part of a similar travel inline hockey league, and he decided that he wanted to start his own. He wasn't happy with the direction that the league that we were currently in was going. So he had all these. He put a bunch of information out there on things that he'd like to do differently in the league that he'd like to start. And I happened to catch that info on Facebook, and it sounded good to me. So I sent him a message, and I said, "Hey, I'd love to put a team in MIHA. I'd love to help you organize it, help start it up in any way that I can help you start it up with." So he was like, "Yeah, that'd be great. You know, the more help I can get, the better." And the real cool part about being in MIHA, working with Mike at that time, was that we got a lot of say in the stuff that we wanted to include in the league. Originally, the first season that we ran was much different than the season that we run now. And a lot of that was just us being able to give Mike ideas and then Mike being willing to implement those ideas. So it gave us a place where we could kind of try different things out and see what worked, see what didn't work. It was I haven't been a part of anything like that since. It was really cool.
When you first started out, it just seemed to be Michigan and Indianapolis. What made you decide to go to kind of a larger scale and involve some of these other states and these other cities?
There was another individual, Sean Conlon. He was located out of Chicago, and he kind of came in right around the time I came in, and then his team did a lot of traveling, but then let Mike know, like, hey, the following season or the next season, if you guys want to do a Chicago tournament, I know a bunch of teams that would be interested in playing a Chicago one. So then Mike expanded out to Chicago, and by being out in Chicago, there were some guys from St. Louis that kind of caught wind of what we were doing, who Sean knew from playing in tournaments in that side of the Midwest. And so he brought those guys in, and they threw out the idea of trying a St. Louis event, which we did. I don't remember exactly how many seasons we did. We're not in St. Louis anymore, but we tried St. Louis a few times. But it was another area where we expanded out, and things kind of grew out that way. It was just more. We'd get people who would join the league from out of our area, and then they would also include their friends in the next expansion. So, we got a group of guys from Buffalo who wanted to be a part of it, and then we met guys through that same avenue, just friends of friends. It kind of had that grassroots growth where we would meet people and they would get involved, and then it would grow out that way.
In your playing career, I've noticed that you've won some tours and some MIHA championships. What's the difference really of running a league like yours, this travel league, or running just like a week-on or maybe a multiple weekend tournament that you travel to? Why is it so important to keep these travel leagues recurring throughout the year?
I think it just makes it a little bit more exciting. And then you're able to build a community that way as well. So, you go to a tournament, you'll play the weekend, and it'll be fun. But then after that weekend's over, that's kind of the end of it. The great thing with having the season format is it's not done in one weekend. The season that we run runs 9 months long. So you kind of are a part of this throughout the course of the year. Granted, you don't play that many weeks out of the year. You only end up playing 4, but you can kind of follow the other teams and how they're doing and see where your team moves up and down the standings. So you're kind of part of something a little bit larger than this like one-off event. And so you got that more exciting part of it, but also there's like a community that you become a part of. A lot of the teams that are a part of MIHA now that have been around for a long time, they may be located in like Detroit, for example, but they'll have a couple players from Chicago and a couple guys from Ohio, a couple guys from Pittsburgh. So you end up getting like these hybrid teams with guys out of multiple states. And as a result, like you kind of become part of like this larger community. So like it's like a group of friends that you get to visit, a couple times a year. So you get that element in it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you mentioned the importance of the community, and that's kind of part of what we do here is we provide the community to access games from all over the world. And one of our biggest, people that we market towards is youth hockey players. It's so important to get young inline hockey players involved. What are some of your experiences in your past about getting youth hockey involved in Michigan?
Man, I'll tell you, it's been tough. The first attempt I had at youth hockey, and probably the most successful, was out of Canfield Arena in Dearborn, Michigan, and it just it it was a startup. We were trying to start up inline hockey league in the area. This particular arena was located in the middle of a city park, which was awesome because we got a lot of foot traffic. And we were trying to build different elements of our business. The adult hockey going well. We had like these ancillary businesses in soccer and roller derby that was going well, but we hadn't been able to get any youth hockey, and we were trying many different ways to do it. So the one thing we tried, and this was back when Pokemon Go was really taking off and was big. We tried a Pokemon Go day, and like in the app, we were able to like buy these lures, and you could lure players with these things. So because you had these lures placed, these kids would show up, and I really did get into the game myself, but they were able to get things in the game because of these lures that we put down. So we had this Pokemon Go day, and these kids show up, and they hadn't been inside the arena before, and they're looking around, and they're like, "Wow, what's this place?" So we're like, "It's this is a hockey arena. Would you guys be interested in playing some hockey? We have some sticks, we have some skates. If you want to try it." They're like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." So very quickly, Pokemon Go day turned into roller hockey day for the kids. And with it being in Dearborn, it has a rather large Arab community, so they were mostly like Muslim Arab kids, which was great because their families were so large. So we got about 2 or 3 kids who were coming back regularly to play roller hockey. Well, then they started inviting their cousins, which they had a ton of cousins, so it was starting to grow like very quickly. Like within a month, we had like 30 kids. We were getting around 45 kids. It was really starting to grow. Unfortunately, shortly afterwards, that facility closed down, and that was kind of the end of the Canfield Youth Hockey Program, which is like it was very disappointing because it was just the story of it. Like if that could have been successful, just the way that thing came together was with this app video game, and it was a demographic of kids that don't traditionally play roller hockey. it's a shame that we couldn't have stuck with it. But a lot of those kids, they came to Canfield because they lived in the neighborhood. We were in the middle of this park. They could just walk to the arena. So once they didn't have like that super easy access to it, that was kind of the end. We tried to get them to come out to Taylor to try youth hockey out here, but just we couldn't get it to work out.
So you mentioned that you had to have started out at Canfield and you moved to Taylor. Taylor, luckily for the hockey organization, has both inline and ice. Why is it so important for ice hockey players to try out inline? It's one of the biggest misnomers about inline hockey that it ruins your ice game, but there's lots of evidence that shows otherwise. What's your experience with it?
Yeah, I mean, you do get a lot more room when you and a lot more time with the puck when you are an ice hockey player who's trying out inline hockey for the first time. So it gives you the opportunity to develop those really good hands and time to get a little more time to become a little more creative with your playmaking. So in my experience, when a player has tried out inline hockey and they're trying to implement it into what they're doing with their ice hockey game, they come out of the experience with not only more creativity in their playmaking, but they develop a little more skill with their hands and just being able to make those quick moves. It's interesting because when I started working here, I hadn't had a whole lot of ice hockey experience myself, and so I, getting into the staff, we'd have like these after-hour skates. So I started playing ice hockey with some of the guys out here, and it was funny. They teased me a bit. They're like, you look new in the way that you skate, but in the way that you move the puck and how quick your hands are, it's deceptive. Like you're a little more dangerous than you look.
I played hockey for about 10 years now, and I still look new with everything. So don't take that too close to heart. Hey, we unfortunately are almost out of time, but before we let you go, we're going to ask our reoccurring question that we ask everybody on these off-ice interviews. If you had to choose for playing purposes, would you play with your offhanded stick or with your skates untied, and why?
Man, I'm not very fast, so I say my skates untied. Like tied or untied, I'm probably going the same speed anyway. So.
Well, we thank you so much for your time, Karl. We appreciate it. One more quick question before we go. What's next for MIHA hockey?
Well, we're gonna try maybe a 30 and over division. I got a lot of people interested in it, asking me about it. The big thing is getting room for something like that. Floor time is it's at a premium. So trying to find more floor time for something like that. If I can find it, we'll do it. But that's the tricky part.
Well, we appreciate your time. Everybody, make sure you check out the MIHA website for all of their tournaments upcoming and some of their media coverage. Make sure that you look into growing the sport and growing the team. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Karl, and this has been Off Ice Interviews.
Thanks.